What's going on, everybody? This is Rich of Review Tech USA. My voice is hoarse because I am sick, but now I am going to recap all three conferences from Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo and go over the highlights, and at the end I will give you my thoughts and tell you what I think about all three conferences. And we're going to start off with Microsoft's conference because honestly it was pretty damn boring and there wasn't too many exciting announcements. But here are the things that caught my eye. They're the same thing that caught IGN's eye. That's why I'm looking at their website right now to take notes. The first thing is Master Chief is back in Halo 4. 343 Industries is now producing the Halo titles, and it will be out next year. It will be very interesting to see if a new development company can actually keep the Halo series going. We will find that out in 2012. The next big thing is that Microsoft wants your Xbox 360 to also become your cable box. You might not need cable anymore. They want to bring live TV to Xbox Live. They didn't go over specifics, but they are working those out, and it's going to become a new big feature with the Xbox 360. Interesting stuff. I want to see how they implement it and see if it actually works out, because hell, I would love to get rid of my cable provider. That's a whole different story. And surprisingly, a Kinect announcement. Yay! Microsoft is launching something called Kinect Fun Labs. Shows off a couple tech demos that are pretty exciting. There's the ability to full body scan yourself and create an avatar. Object scanning is also possible now, so you can hold something like a stuffed animal or, a basketball in front of the camera and have it appear on your 360. The most exciting tech, though, is finger tracking. Currently, Kinect can only track your fists. So when you're putting your Tiger and Kinectimals, it's not actually following your fingers, just your hands in general. That could change with this new tech. I still could care less, but I guess it was a pretty big thing. And this one's pretty cool, although I've never tried Minecraft myself. Minecraft is coming to the Xbox 360. That's it. It's coming to the Xbox 360. So if you never had a chance to play it on the PC, now you can try it on your gaming console. That's pretty cool. And here is a Kinect announcement I'm actually caring about, is that they're trying to bring more hardcore games to Kinect. Finally. The biggest one is actually being developed by Crytek. It's going to be exclusive to the Xbox 360, and it's called Rise. It's going to have really gritty and visceral first-person perspective combat that is going to track your whole body, and every movement can actually be used in the gameplay. It's pretty interesting stuff. And that is pretty much it from Microsoft's camp. Now let's move on to Sony's E3 press conference. And there is a lot more to talk about. Of course, Sony's Jack Tretton started off by talking about the PSN outage, and he sincerely apologized for it. That was nothing big. It was nice to see him actually personally address it, but of course it was predictable that they were going to do that. They went on to show the Uncharted 3 Drake's Deception demo. The game looks amazing, but we've heard so much about it, it wasn't a surprise. It was pretty much assumed they were going to show a demo, but it looks amazing, and I love the Uncharted series, so I'm seriously looking forward to it. They're going to have the multiplayer beta go online on June 28th, so I'm pretty excited about that too. They went on to show a demo of Resistance 3, which also looks really good. I like Resistance 2 a lot. Resistance 1 wasn't really my cup of tea, but the series caught my attention with Resistance 2, so I'm hoping this game is really good. I think it will be. They also went on to announce that God of War Ghosts of Sparta and God of War Origins are getting a HD remake for the PS3. Those were the PSP titles. They're going to be HD and they're going to be 3D. That's pretty cool. And I really wanted to play those again because I played them on the PSP a little bit. I'm not big on portable gaming, so it would be nice to play them on the PlayStation 3. This one's been rumored for a while. Echo and Shadow of Colossus HD Collection is coming to the PS3. Again, that's been circulating around for a while. No big surprise there. This one's actually pretty interesting, and it shows that Sony is really still trying to push 3D and make it affordable. They revealed a 24-inch 3D TV bundle built for gaming and ready for 3D. With the 3D enabled, you could play any co-op game looking as if you had your very own screen instead of sharing the screen with a friend. They also presented a bundle with Resistance 3 that includes 3D glasses and an HD cable for $4.99, which I still think is kind of pricey for a 24-inch TV, but they are including some other stuff with it, so we'll see how that does. They went on to have some partners, aka developers, come on the stage and say how they're going to have exclusive content for PlayStation versions of the game. There was a lot of games shown, and a lot of it we already knew, and honestly, if I go into detail about every single game, this video will be 3 hours long. You could check out, I'll have a link below to the E3 highlights, so if you want to go into more detail, you could read that article. But the big thing that I want to talk about with Sony is the NGP, now known as the PS Vita. They showed a lot of different demos with it. They have a lot of different developers on board. They showed Uncharted Golden Abyss, which looks amazing. It looks exactly like the PlayStation 3 version. They showed how they're going to have touch controls with Uncharted Golden Abyss. It looks like it's going to work really well. They had Mod Nation Racers for the PS Vita. It looks really good. Wipeout 2048. They had Capcom come out with Street Fighter X Tekken, which looks outstanding. They actually are going to have Cole from the Infamous series be a playable character in Street Fighter X Tekken, so that's going to be pretty interesting. There are actually 80 Vita titles in development right now. That's huge for a console that hasn't even come out yet. And here was the biggest announcement of Sony's E3 press conference. The price of the portable PlayStation Vita is actually going to be affordable. Yes, I know, it's shocking. They're going to have two models. They're going to have a Wi-Fi PS Vita and a 3G version. The Wi-Fi only version is going to be $249.99 US, and the 3G version is going to be $299.99 US. That is right at the same price point as the 3DS as of now. Probably in a year that'll change, but that still is affordable for a cutting-edge portable gaming system. The only downside to the 3G version is that they are having the network run through AT&T. You have to have 3G through AT&T, and I think everyone will mutually agree that AT&T's service sucks. But beyond that, I'm even pretty excited for the PS Vita. It seems like a very powerful, very affordable gaming console that a lot of third-party developers are already signed on to. So it's going to be very interesting to see how the PS Vita performs sales-wise. And last but not least was Nintendo's E3 press conference, and many considered / hoped them to be the belle of the ball this year. And they kind of were. Sort of. They started off the conference with an orchestrated intro because it's Zelda's 25th anniversary this year. They had a nice reel of all the games showing gameplay footage, and they played music from the Zelda series. It was a really cool intro, one of the best I've ever seen. After that, they announced a whole bunch of Zelda info. I'll have a link below if you want to get more into it. Like I said, if I went into every detail, this video would be about 3 hours long. They then announced a bunch of 3DS titles. They have Mario Kart 3DS, Star Fox 64 3DS, Super Mario 3D, which was actually the most enticing to me, Kid Icarus Uprising. We've seen so much about that even since last year. Luigi's Mansion 2, again for the 3DS. Then they showed a trailer showing third-party games for the 3DS, such as Resident Evil Uprising. It was pretty cool. Like I said, I'm not a portable gamer, so I didn't get too into it, but it's nice to see that there's going to be a lot of support for the 3DS. Other things 3DS related is Nintendo will have an eShop with 3D Classics. One game they announced for the 3D Classics is Excitebike, which is going to be pretty cool. Nintendo eShop will also have Pokédex 3D. Joy. But then things started to heat up when Nintendo officially announced their next generation console called the Wii U. The Wii U. That is the worst name I ever heard, U. But they announced it and then showed the controller for the system, which made my jaw drop to the floor. Now, the interesting thing is that they only showed a controller. They didn't show the console, they didn't talk about specs, they didn't say if it's going to have Blu-ray. They didn't even really talk about the network. They just talked about the controller, they talked about the next generation console, and how it's going to be more catered towards the hardcore market as well as the casual market. But back to the controller, because this thing is insane. The controller has a 6.2-inch touchscreen on it. It basically looks like a gigantic tablet. There is 2 analog buttons, a directional pad, 4 face buttons on the back. There are 2 triggers. I hear it's very comfortable, but the controller looks huge. It looks like a PDA from the mid-90s, except more smoothed out and rounded. The nice thing about it is that if someone comes in the room and wants to watch a baseball game or a football game, you could actually play the game through the controller. They are going to utilize it to work with the Wii motion control, so if you want to play golf, you could actually put the new controller on the ground and you could see the LCD screen show the golf ball and you could swing it like a golf club. They're looking to really innovate with this controller, and it'll be interesting to see how well it works. It's also nice to see that they brought back the old school controls with this new technology. So once again, they're trying to bring the hardcore gaming market back to Nintendo. Although I was not entirely impressed with the fact they didn't have an actual console to show, they did show how third-party developers are supporting the Wii U. They had a video where they showed third-party developers and video from third-party games. The video included Batman Arkham City, Darksiders 2, the Dirt Racing series, an Aliens first-person shooter game, Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Online, Metro last night, which was shocking. I was pleasantly surprised to see that coming out for the Wii U, a Tekken game, and Ninja Gaiden 3. And they said the Wii U will be capable of outputting full 1080p, so it's going to be a hell of a system. They ended the conference saying there's going to be tech demos for the Wii U, no games in progress, they aren't representations of the actual finished product. They made very sure, or Reggie made very sure, that you knew that because they didn't want people to get pissed off. And from what I'm hearing, people are pretty impressed with the Wii U's technology. But once again, we'll have to wait until next year to see if this system is everything that Nintendo is promising. My thoughts on all the conferences in a nutshell is I really thought that Sony had the most content that I wanted to see. Yes, there was no jaw-dropping surprises except for the price of the Vita, which I was pleasantly surprised at how cheap it's going to be. And even though Sony's conference was, kind of boring, their presentation was kind of dull, they did have the most content and they had the most things that interested me, and I really think Sony came the strongest this year, and I thought Microsoft was just awful. Man, they keep on having conferences like that. They're really going to start hurting. That was just bad. That was the worst E3 conference I've ever seen. That made last year's E3 conference by Microsoft seem legendary, and that was a bad one. And I know many people are going to rage and say, hey, why don't you think Nintendo's was the best? They announced a brand new console, showed a bunch of hardcore games for it. I want to see solid specs. I want to see a console. I want to see its features. I want to see the network they're going to have for online gaming. I am not completely sold on it until I actually see the physical console and know what features are going to be confirmed with it, because Nintendo could still screw a lot of things up, people. So what are your thoughts? Do you think I'm nuts? Do you think I'm totally wrong? Do you think Nintendo took it all home? Did you love Microsoft's E3 conference? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below about how you think these E3 press conferences turned out, and let me know what you think, who you thought did the best. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, this is Rich of Review Tech USA. I'm going to go back to being sick now, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'm interested to see what people have to say on E3 2011. Have a good one.